Do you have that not-so-fresh feeling? Are you an active person? Did last night's poutine stick with you all night long? Introducing Beezer Parfum. The sexy, better-than-garlic scent, perfect for any occasion. Made with our convenient Febreze-like dispenser. So get yours today, and let's bees.
Short hair? I can have short hair. You like blondes? I can be blonde. Hyper. You're gonna get it. Eurobees and shit. Hello everyone, I'm Steve. Marc's around. Say hi, Marc.
Hey everybody!
And this is Smokeysteveandmarc. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Saturday. It's the weekend, coffee in the PM, almond milk, and Splenda. We're trying to do a few nip tucks to hit that New Year's resolution. It's a process. So I hope everyone's well and everyone's safe. Look after yourselves and each other. Today we're going to continue discussing our fair lady Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, The Daily Chantal, Chantopolis, Chantal Show, Chantal and Sala, and Foodie Beauty. She had a couple rebrands this week, but she always lands back at herself. So last week, we talked about the rage, because there was a few, and I was kind of the opinion of, that's your karma. The way you make the most money is by doing something that annoys the hell out of you. Who wins when that happens? The rest of us. Community posts that one of the reactors had poked out at them. Pete's in his new digs, so he's out of the villa. And he seems like Pete's still. Whether she is locked in or not. There was discussion about her being locked in the place where she's living, or if they even share a residence, if he's in one place and she's in another. So there was discussion of that. He locks her in, and we kind of decided that would be when they break up, she's going to turn it into one. He kidnapped me. He made me give my cats away. Someone else's fault it will be when the time comes. So this week we're going to talk about the TikTok flop. She tried to go over on TikTok and it didn't really work. So she's not really there at the moment. There was a ridiculously disgusting mukbang that she had at a restaurant with Sala there, providing her with the food that she ate with her hands. So filter madness. By the time she got to TikTok, she had these filters that didn't even look like her. I mean, the usual ones are a few, nip tucks or whatever, but she looked older, tan, magazine tan, ridiculous. So she played with those. She posted a picture of her hamster in an air fryer because she just couldn't help herself with folks who think that she doesn't treat animals very well. So she got a new camera, well, a new phone, but a new camera. That's Sala bought for her, with all that big Beezer cologne money. Beezer, for candles, I guess. And there's currently a petition circling to get her taken off of social media, I guess YouTube specifically. So let's start at the beginning. It's a very good place to start. So TikTok. So due to bullying and shaming, Chantal went in search of a new audience. Forget YouTube. I don't need YouTube. And she goes over to TikTok. And no one cares except for the people that remember what she had done with her pets and some other things as well. Chantal was seeming to want to go rewrite history of what happened. She's still talking about BBJ. She's got to let it go. The more she talks about it, about trying, like, she's not going to get away from it. The more she talks about not wanting to talk about it, it creates more people talking about it. There's no such thing as bad publicity? We'll say. I wouldn't want to be known for some of the things Chantal's known for. Some of that would be bad. Post after post addressing her animal abuse, trying to rewrite the history of it. I think she thought TikTok viewers, a new audience, would feel so sorry for her that she could start over again with a new bunch of saps that she could manipulate into telling them they're like friends and telling them they're close and creating that false sense of closeness so they'll loan her money. Most people won't do the kind of shit Chantal does on camera, and we'll talk about that with the mukbang. So she frames, the rest of us being jealous, or her haters being jealous, on the fact that she has such a wonderful life and she's so happy. When? I'm waiting. Anytime now. Sala usually sits in the back, watches his phone while she talks to the camera, and that's about it. She said she doesn't go out by herself at all. So if he's at work, she's home. If he's sleeping elsewhere, she's home. He says she has a key to get out. She said she didn't, or there was only one, so she lied, and I don't know why. But at any rate, we could all do the kind of nasty shit she does and find an audience. If you want to do some kind of like fetish shit, I think you probably could. But for the most part, no. TikTok wasn't her thing. She's not posted on there recently. The filters were probably more desirable to her. But now she's back on YouTube. Of course, it's usually within a minute and a half of saying she's leaving, not coming back, and we can all die mad about it.
My husband is so thoughtful. He always gets me extra pickles.
So, on a similar topic of excess, Chantal posted a couple food videos coming up. There was a post in her community board saying she was going to switch to food content and recorded videos only. We did this like at the beginning of at the end of the mukbang era, coming into her lives. She decided what kind of content she was going to make and where she was going to put it and when it was going to come out. And I can't give you a schedule because haters like that. So just stay ready in case I come on. Wow. So they go to a Middle Eastern restaurant, and they're in a private seated area, which sounds like ritzy, but they're pretty common in that part of the world. So it's exclusive to them, but like you can get an exclusive booth at Denny's too. So she's laying down, like, whatever, and she has food. Salva's over here. She's sitting there for about 9 minutes, 10 minutes, nothing but eating. Maybe commenting on the food, but it was very much in the old style of piggy, get food on my face, get food on my shirt, and turn on the perverts. Yeah, I'm kink shaming. It's weird. I'm sorry. Personal opinion, I'll burn. But I think it's a weird thing. And catering to it and then saying, well, I don't want to kink shame people. No, you just want to profit off of it. And there's room for that. There's other YouTubers who have they're kind of one-trick ponies and they only get gross views. But again, that kind of goes to the karma bit. You have to make content you don't like in order to sustain the lifestyle you think you deserve. Also, the idea of just because you put the work in doesn't mean people necessarily watch. Good content is a good thing to draw people in. We always try to work on hours, to go from the more hobby to hopefully something a little better. The equipment has gotten better as we've gone. So I can, appreciate that it's hard to make videos sometimes, but any of us could make a spectacle of ourselves laying down, like, who, the hut, and just eating and getting food all over the place. It was to a very specific audience. It was meant to reach other people than the one she's been reaching recently. And who knows how much money she has coming in. She might entice men in those things who like to do things on the side. Maybe have her do something a little more private. The kind of things that she maybe would... The same people who would order her Uber Eats and have it delivered to the house so they could watch her eat food they like. Things like that. So... He pushes the food at her. Is he a feeder? I don't know. But I think he knows that she makes money a few different ways. And it's eating, raging, lying, any of that kind of stuff will get people to tune in. So if it's food, it's food. And it was gross. It was gross. It was grosser than the old mukbangs. I liked her so much better when we were just arguing about whether she's vegan or not. That was a little less consequential than debating whether or not you abuse animals. As if there's a debate. But again, she's still going on all that. Anything to distract from the cat stuff, but then when she gets all hot and bothered, it's all she'll talk about. So she's throwing out stuff to try to pick a new direction, but yet at the same time, when confronted or pushed, she talks about it again. She keeps talking about it. Current word is that French Fried Girl released the notes from the vet visit. I know I'm jumping ahead. And isn't going to talk about it anymore, allegedly. So we'll see whose word is good with that. It'll eventually go away because everything on you, if the Nazi stuff, the pumped up kicks, nothing's going to make it stop. People forget very fast. 3 days is ancient history in internet time. See, in human time, it's not. In Chantal's head, I'm a different person than I was a week ago. And flatters herself to think she's so away from her old self that it doesn't still creep through every so often. I'm wondering if that's what Sala may be seeing, and maybe not second guessing his decision if he's playing the long game. But it may be a little more than he thought he was getting. I suspect she led him to believe some different things about him and her. That's true. I think she told us that he had, the perfume empire, and she was an internet celebrity, and as it is, she's stuck in a room all day in another country, winning.
Salah got a fruity mixed drink.
A little sidebar about filter madness. Now, foregoing the idea that it might not count as modesty for the faith she alleges to, while she dresses up like a Muslim. That's probably the only safe way to say it. She needed a new camera. She said she was going to get one, and I think she's probably outgrown the filters on her Samsung, and she's ready to upgrade a little bit. The filters she was using were ridiculous. And I question her motives because, saying that this is how I look and I'm proud of it and you're all jealous, we can all put on filters, smooth out a few wrinkles, take off a few chins, that kind of thing. But when the camera's off, the real us is on the other side of the room. I know it seems like the magic of TV or anything, but really, you guys are watching me sit in a love seat in the front room of my house talking to my phone. The cats are sometimes somewhere. That's what's actually happening. But the presentation of it is you want to, my idea is that it's not necessarily that I'm at home, it's just that this is the place we chat, this is how we hang out, this is what we do, and this is how we look. Earlier we got away camera-wise because I had a really cheap, the whole first 2 years of the channel, maybe 3, was filmed on a potato, pretty much. And people still watched and they still liked us and they still subscribed, which is all reassuring, that the value of the content is good. But who wants to watch a poorly lit video? Who wants to watch a blurry video? So I get that she wanted to have a new camera to be able to do those things. She got an iPhone, which she said Sala bought for her. Okay. And I don't know that's true. The woman who bought her own engagement ring, she lies about ownership with purchasing. It was given, it was bought, it was paid for, it was this how much it was paid for. People who know better won't believe any of that bullshit. And it's like, because I think she's mentally kind of stuck in her teens, she doesn't have a concept that the kind of behavior she's exhibiting now, most of us watched during adolescence, maybe went through ourselves and grew out of it. There was different stages of life that involve growing up, different priorities. People have different things they think about. It's not the immediate teenager, more, gimme, fun, fuck tomorrow. That's, live fast, die young, the Chris Farley kind of approach to things. And love Family Guy. I borrowed that one from Stewie. Chantal's hamster also made a cameo this week. It was in a thumbnail, probably in a couple videos, where it was coming out of the air fryer. So you have little hamster padded on the inside. There's some paper towels, and he's peeking out the basket. Now, is that cute? I don't think so, necessarily. Would it be cute if it wasn't done by someone with a history of not taking care of animals? Yeah, then it's not cute. I think it could have been an attempt to try to normalize what she feels is like, there's outrage as far as justifiably. And, people are happy that the cat's getting better care now. But putting this up is to kind of make it all seem like, see, they're all silly. This is what they call abuse with a hamster. Of course I didn't abuse my cats. I had them for 20 years. 20, 21, 16, rename it Methuselah. It's been around forever. It's too old to live. Not that that should be celebrated. that with small amounts of medication, the cat could live a longer life. No, better to just accept the inevitable, let it live in pain so that death seems like a relief. Don't get any more pets. Don't get any more pets. About the cats that keep coming up because the pets come up. Shut up about it if you don't want to talk about it anymore. Like I said, trying to hide it is just making it more obvious. And allegations like that, backed up with footage and vet reports, are going to chase you. And if you did something shitty like that, maybe it should. Should people go into your personal bank account, put hidden cameras in your home, leave packages at your door? No, none of those things should happen. But we reap what we sow. You know, again, karma. You're going to have to talk about topics where you feel like you're in the right, but no one believes you. Fish for the 121 thumbs up on the community post versus the 8,000 thumbs down that come with it. There's 90,000 people watching, and barely 100 of them can be bothered to say they agree with anything she posts. So, I don't know. If you think you know who your audience is, I guess. The hamster period to me felt like a selfish decision because it's not about caring for him. It's about how cute he is and how he'll look like cute for us. She accused FFG of using the cats as a prop. Putting a hamster in an air fryer is using it as a prop for a video. I know, it's totally different. People like to conflate and then there's false outrage. Who are you to call it false? Just because you're not upset about abusing your animals doesn't mean other people should be. Why should everyone have to accept that? Or even if you did take responsibility, why do people have to suddenly treat you like you never did it? Even if you do apologize. She wouldn't. She'll double down. She'd rather see it dead than in the situation it's in now. There's no taking that back, and no pet owner whose priorities were the pet's health versus spite or revenge would probably think otherwise. But, whatever. It's fine. The report that came in with the vet stuff, it's in French. So, go ahead. I haven't translated it myself, actually. I saw a few different interpretations of it. I didn't put it into a language thing and filter it, but the report does lead with the fact that they rescued the cat from a neglectful situation or an abusive situation and brought it in that night. And that they got it from Ottawa. I mean, everything on that part seemed to be true. It was adopted from someone who was going to have it killed. Now, did French Fry Girl tell them she was going to have it killed? Whether she did or didn't, it's in the vet report that's what happened. Chantal could try to refute it with her own footage of giving it away, but that seems to help the case French Fry Girl made, not hurt it. So she gave them away. French Fry Girl got them, and they're doing better. This is a good thing. This is a very good thing. I don't know why it would be taken some other way. That it would be considered bad. Chantal seems upset that how she planned for her cat to exit didn't happen. Someone took it out of her hands. Someone who she said wasn't very smart. Well, Einstein, she took you for a ride. Sorry. Might as well just call her Natter.
Here's what the falafels look like. It's a very filling and cheap breakfast.
So with the new camera, we're probably just going to get close-ups. It's a new phone, actually, not a new camera. He bought her an iPhone. Okay. I don't think that he bought it, but that's whatever. She has it now, however she has it. All we're going to get is crisp, clear images of each grain of rice that falls from her face. I don't think she's going to take advantage of a $1,500 device, such as it is, and go out and do the most you can with it. Her blogs and vlogs and everything are the most basic. Point the camera out the window, narrate over the top. I mean, there's very, very little to do with that. And she can't be busy. She's home for hours a day alone. That's when I believe the raging happens. And the hours are weird because, it's a huge time difference. Plus, she's a night owl or an early riser, depending on where in the world the sun's coming up for you. And she'll put out all these blasts about how everything's unfair and how people are so mean to her and how she's such a victim of this and this and this. You're not the victim in this circumstance. No. I do concede that people say hateful things and dip into her personal life. That's, to me, not something I would engage in. We can all make our own decisions, I guess. But remember, her personal life is broadcast on YouTube. No one stole hidden footage that was in her house. Nobody is, opening up anything that wasn't seen. This is all there. This is all there to be seen. So, anyway, more pictures of sick camels. Oh, speaking of camels, Beezer. for her. So everyone knows that Sala runs a very, very, very successful fragrance company making fine products like this. Okay, so it kind of looks like the stuff that they sell on the subway platform or on Canal Street. No, Canal Street has better knockoffs than this. The top of it looks like the thing Marc has one to spray the plants. And the smell is not like unique or something. It's not anything like spicy or incensey or anything with maybe a local twist to it. It's like some plain old bullshit. And then they slapped a plastic label on it that was adhered poorly. It looks like the kind you put on with a blow dryer. Like to get it stuck to the Easter eggs, it felt like that. And it said Beezer on the outside. Now, considering it's a small batch company, they don't ship internationally, and who in Kuwait knows who Foodie Beauty is, I don't know how much they're going to sell exactly. Here's hoping, here's hoping. But it's not a fine end product. It's not going to be in the fragrance section in, Macy's. It's not going to end up there. It's probably going to end up at like one of those dollar stores, but they don't spend, it's not $1, it's like $1.50. And it's like not store brand stuff, but it seems like overstock crap that people just get in and try to resell. Stuff you need, but you don't need, like those little parts of the windshield wipe, things like that. And that's the kind of stores I would recall seeing it in. We have one in the mall in Scranton that's like that. And they sell cheap ass duct tape and screws and bolts and off-brand candles and all that kind of stuff. So if that's where he's selling, there's money to be made. Somebody's selling their stuff to that dollar store. So if it is going to be him, great. But at the moment, the business would have to be small. Have to be, given the size of Kuwait, what they're selling. And it's basically, it has a nice spout on it in case you need to. He hosed her down with that shit. God bless the both of them. And we all reap what we sow too. So, bees are for him, bees are for her, bees are for camels. We'll see what comes out next. All I could picture was like an Obsession ad with her hugging camels in black and white, sticking her face in it. So, let's see. One of the things that goes with the fragrance business, just to say, Chantal has a habit, and she did this with his piano playing. She will vehemently oversell something interesting about herself or somebody else. And then when it's shown on camera, tries to act like, well, I never said he was Liberace. I said he was... She put up a community post to say that her boyfriend, husband, whatever he was, and is or whatever, was going to be playing the piano later. Now, don't you think when someone says they play the piano that they can play brilliantly by ear? They're taking piano lessons and want to show off? They can read music? No. He plucks out Yankee Doodle with one finger on a keyboard. Okay. She sells that as though it was Liberace incarnate playing to try to make him feel like she's interested in his dumb shit. It's whatever. And she tries to make it bigger. The Beezer is the same thing. The cologne company's the same thing. It's probably could be, might be, maybe will be a modest business that would support him. But you don't have to act like he's bringing in millions. It's okay to be a little more humble about your reality than to try to oversell it and then call people who say, that's totally different than what you looked at or said at on camera, actually. So, again, it's a complication of putting your whole life online. But that's a choice she makes. None of us are drafted to create for YouTube. So, the future, where she's going, leads us to the last thing I wanted to talk about, which currently there's a petition circling heavily on Twitter and a couple other places to have Chantal, Foodie Beauty, removed from platforming. And I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I just think it's going to confirm the same number of people that dislike her. I would suspect it was at 600 something, and that was a while ago that I checked it. So if it was in the high thousands, I wouldn't be surprised. But who gets that attention? And sometimes it's not a hate mob. It's just a bunch of people who agree that certain behavior is unacceptable. And they all bring it together. A lot of people hated Joseph Stalin, but that doesn't mean he was secretly a good guy with bad viewers. Some people deserve to be called out for their shit. And on the instance, especially with her pets, she needed to be the person called out. So will this petition to get her go anywhere? I don't think so. If all the other stuff she did didn't get her yanked off YouTube, I don't think that this would either. It'll irritate her, but she'll feel self-righteous about it because I think she probably thinks like I do, it's not going to go anywhere. And if it does, we'll see. Luckily, she's going to be a TikTok star. She got her feet wet. they ran her off of there. That was... People aren't going to let her forget her shitty behavior. It'll go on for a while. People will still talk about it and talk about it. And then it'll come up again every once in a while when we make the list of shitty things she does. Like, it'll get added to the list with pumped up kicks. That came and went. You thought that would have gotten her channel taken down? You know, nothing. Nothing. So if that can come and go, and the other stuff can come and go, then this will too. So I'm not concerned that she's going to lose her channel to a petition. I do think it'll point maybe to her. She'll call them all haters. But if you do a lousy thing and 4,000 people agree it was lousy, that doesn't mean you're a victim just because a lot of people agree you did something shitty, necessarily. That's not how that works out all the time. But I think from watching Chantal long enough, she knows how she feels that she's in the right and being wronged. It allows this to continue. It allows her to justify unacceptable behavior. That tit for tat is perfectly fine. That she's in fact, okay, they're not going to ask you when you get to heaven before the virgins, what did French Fried Girl say? What did French Fried Girl do? They're going to ask what you did. They're going to want to know what you did. How did you love them as you were called to do, those who hurt you? That's a little bit of Bible Quran. See, it's like there's a lot of like common tenets that string through the major faiths. There's the nuances, of course, like, you know, sanctioned murder of homosexual men in the streets, things like that. But aside from that, a lot of the good stuff kind of runs through. And it's not, I'm not a Muslim, so it's not for me to pick her to shreds, but I understand that in certain faith communities, members hold each other accountable. Meaning someone else in the faith, and she is in, she told us she's in, they might not take so kindly to that, and might actually come back at her for it, in the interest of trying to keep her honest and keep her faithful. She will not be told by a Muslim sister, brother, or another how to act. She simply will not. Doesn't matter if it's her faith, doesn't matter if the faith means she has the merit, none of it. None of it. So, I don't know where we'll go from here. But we'll be here. I don't think anything's going to happen that fast. We're still in Kuwait. More business stuff. She'll talk more about the cats because it's in her best interest to shut up and she can't help herself because she was outsmarted. She probably feels like a loser. But, you know, take it on the chin and keep it moving. And just don't be that much of a loser again. Don't do dumb shit again. People have opportunities for redemption, but every time she has a chance to do the good thing, the nice thing, the kind thing, the right thing, she doesn't. She has no motivation to do something kind for anybody else. It's what can I get out of it? What can I milk out of it? What can I bank in my head as ammo so when we fight, I can remember, like Missy Moo, the poor thing who was like all over her and loving her. Missy Moo's in the outhouse now, and then wanted to try to take it back. And that's more back and forth drama crap that means pretty much nothing. So thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for watching. Please do subscribe, hit the notification bell, get alerts when we have new videos and go live. You can follow us on Facebook, Smokeysteveandmarc, Instagram, Smokeysteveandmarc, Twitter, SmokeySteveA. Email contact info is below. Thank you again, and we will catch up with you tomorrow. We are going live at 6 p.m. Eastern for our usual Sunday live. Open discussion. Of course, FB comes up. But we check in on a lot of other stuff too. It's just a nice little hangout. So if you're free, stop by tomorrow at 6. Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye. Say bye, Mark. Bye.